What is up, fellow thermonuclear AFers? I am Dan Favale coming at you with a reaction to Hoops Hype's rankings of the top 25 shooting guards heading into the 2022-2023 season. We already did the point guard rankings we went through, so go out and check that video. Very quickly before we get started, if this is your first time checking out this channel, please, pretty please with sugar on top. It would mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button, like, comment as well to help the YouTube algorithm love us back. So yes, hit that subscribe button right now while you're staring at me or the intro screen right here. Thank you. Let's move into these rankings though. As usual, just reacting to these in real time. I have not seen these before. Of note, we did have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the point guard rankings with Josh Giddey. So if someone's expecting to see him here, I'd imagine he will not show up. But let's dig into this. Number 25, Jaden Ivy, Detroit. Billing him as the shooting guard over Cade Cunningham, that's fine. I think that pair is going to be interesting. Putting a rookie there is going to be, that is actually extremely intriguing. So we'll have to see if that works out. Caris LeVert in Cleveland, ahead of Ivy, yeah, sure. LeVert, good on-ball creator, a little bit iffy off of the ball, doesn't do too much on defense. I'm fine with that so far. Norman Powell of the Clippers, very good. Lots of rim pressure if he's healthy. Shoots the three ball extremely well. I would have him in front of LeVert and Giddey too. 22, Collin Sexton, Cleveland for now. Will he stay there? That'll be something to discuss. He has not signed a contract as we're rating this. I would put him above Caris LeVert. I know a lot of people think that LeVert is more valuable to Cleveland than Sexton. I think Sexton's off-ball shooting is better. He's going to put more continuous pressure on the basket, I think, than LeVert. LeVert's definitely the better passer. So I'm fine with that. Putting him in front of Norman Powell, yeah, I think that's mostly fine too. Sexton's a better passer than Powell is. Clarkson ahead of both of them. See, I would probably have Clarkson lower. He's had a couple really good seasons in Utah. Can be a very good self-starter, but doesn't get to the line, doesn't put a ton of pressure on the basket. His jump shooting can be iffy. Shot selection is iffy. I'd have him in front of Ivy. I might even have him in front of LeVert, but I definitely would have had him behind Collin Sexton for sure. Alex Caruso, just a defensive mastermind. I'm okay with him being right here. Doesn't give you a ton of on-ball creation, but he can do some typical guard type of things. But he would have been all defense last year if he never got hurt, so that's fine to put him there. Seth Curry, dead-eye shooter, off the dribble, in the lane, off the catch. I totally get why he's here. He can put up points in avalanches and in a hurry. Bogdan Bogdanovic, 18. This feels right, at least relative to everyone else here. He probably gives you the best balance of on-ball creativity, passing, shooting. Probably a little bit better defensively than people think, but not a superstar. Still, I think I'd put him in front of everybody here. Lou Dort, yeah, just built like a brick house. Dort can defend anybody, and I know that people will point out his shooting. He does a lot more stuff on offense where he can really pass when he gets going downhill, and there's a lot more directionality to his drives. It's not just these straight line attacks anymore. He has some counters, and there's some like east-westness to his game. 16, Anthony Simons, probably taking a little bit of a leap here, but I also think that's fine. The season he had last year was just absolutely incredible. He is just pure off the dribble shot making in the best form, and I think he did improve a bunch as a passer last season. His ticket to probably going further up this list would be, can he improve his defense significantly as sort of a smaller guard who will spend a lot of time at the two and maybe in some just smaller guard units overall with Portland, depending on how they use Gary Payton II. 15, Jaylen Green. Ooh, might be a little spicy. His second half of the year was absolutely bonkers. Passing, shot making off the dribble, showed the entire package there. What kind of license is he going to have in Houston this year? They have Jabari Smith Jr. there. Alperen Sengun's due for sort of a role bump. How are they going to use KPJ? Josh Christopher in there. They have Ty Washington. The offensive pecking order could be a little bit jumbled in Houston, but I do think Jaylen Green is had a spectacular close to the year, so taking the roll of the dice here is good. Gary Trent Jr., okay, I don't really have a huge issue with these rankings so far. I would have had Sexton higher, that's for sure, and maybe even Norman Powell. But Gary Trent Jr. here, just another guy, spaces the floor a ton, and he has a little bit of off-the-bounce jet fuel to his game. I really like him on defense, though, where he can be disruptive in the passing lanes and guards, twos and threes. He's sort of like the perfect superstar complement that you want on your team. If you have these other ball-dominant players, you should certainly want someone like Gary Trent Jr. occupying the wings. 13, Klay Thompson. Ooh, people might take this as low, but look, he missed like 3 years almost of basketball. Came back, played well at moments last year. I think getting those game reps, especially in the playoffs under him, will definitely help him leading into next year. And I thought he was better at points defensively. His shot selection got iffy at offense through stages. Maybe it'll all just sort of coalesce into something much better, an all-star type player. That's not where he's ranked here. I get it, though. Like, his return is incredible. Maybe he'll be even better this season than he was to close last year. But you probably have to stop viewing Klay in superstar terms. And if he is the Klay of old, then he's going to skyrocket up this list. Tyler Herro at 12. I somehow think can be both underrated and overrated at this point. I don't think he's a future superstar, but you want someone who can hit mid-range jumpers, even if he's only hitting them at a 40-something% clip. Getting to the, creating those looks is important. I think he's done a little bit better job as a playmaker over the past season and a half, making decisions there at least, and that he can just be used in all forms as a shooter. Miami probably just doesn't get him moving enough without the ball. This is another player who could skyrocket up this list, but I could also see him dropping. Jordan Poole over Herro. What's interesting here is that Poole kind of has less responsibility and hasn't really been able to carry Warriors lineups that don't have Steph Curry in there. But when you look at the end of the year that he had, and he brings, a lot more finishing at the basket than a Tyler Herro. In addition to having the shooting game, the off the dribble creativity that I'm going to mention a ton when it comes to shooting guards, both of those players need to improve defensively. It does feel like it could kind of be a coin toss here. I do wonder, does Poole get a bump because he's maybe been more efficient since he plays with a better supporting cast, or even shoulders less responsibility at times? That might even be inaccurate because Herro has Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry and Bam Adebayo there. I just wonder if the circumstances under which Poole has come up have been a little bit more ideal, less trial by fire than Tyler Herro. Getting into the top 10, Desmond Bane at 10. I love it. I might have even put him higher. He improved a bunch defensively last year, and he also started creating more of his own looks, taking more pull-up jumpers. That's big, in addition to just providing really dead-accurate floor spacing. Tyrese Maxey, we need to see who's in front. The names are blanking on me right now who would be coming in front of him, but I could see him really just slingshotting up this list. I do agree you have him over Herro and Poole. He was Philly's second best player when they didn't have Ben Simmons last year. Then James Harden comes in and he somehow gets more lethal. He's hitting threes off the catch. His first step just blowing by guys as soon as he gets the ball into his hands. My point is, he was efficient and incredibly valuable as a number 2 option where he had more of the defensive focus. You drop him down to the number 3 option and he was even more dangerous. And I think that he's a huge, not luxury, but necessity in Philly when they're looking to run units without Embiid and Harden on the court. And he's well equipped to do that more so than Poole or Herro at this point. CJ McCollum at 8. I could see Maxey taking him down, but CJ McCollum's still really good. Just a very feathery game in the mid-range. He's improved his off-the-dribble shooting over the past few years as well, and is very plug-and-play because he can hit shots off the catch. Defensive limitations more so than a Maxey, but just a dude's a bucket getter and is smooth about it. DeJounte Murray at 7. I get it. Really good defensively. I guess I'm just still questioning his fit on offense with Trae Young. Is he displacing Trae Young from the ball? Are we going to see Murray take more catch-and-shoot threes? Are we going to see him making cuts to the basket or setting screens? That dynamic, it's going to work on defense. I'm curious to see how it works on offense. But I will absolutely tell you, there might not be a better defensive guard in the NBA. Or you're only counting those players on one hand. If it's Marcus Smart, if you want to throw Ben Simmons in there, DeJounte Murray is in that same conversation. Bradley Beal Washington, sort of banking out a bounce back year for him. He saw his efficiency implode last year. He was dealing with injuries. The Wizards, after a scorching hot start, weren't very good. There was some midseason roster upheaval as well. You give him the benefit of the doubt here. I totally get that. And now that you have a Monte Morris and even a Will Barton there, DeLon Wright, maybe the creation burden won't be as heavy. Still, Dinwiddie, the fit wasn't great, but that was someone who should have been able to shoulder a pretty heavy creation responsibility himself. But we have to watch this because the Wizards invested a lot in him, and it was a risk there, especially with that no trade clause. Anthony Edwards at 5. I'll fave this, and we'll see who's going to be in front of him, but Anthony Edwards is going to be a megastar. I don't know if he's top 5 player in the league material. He certainly seems top 10 player in the league material to me. Not sure if he gets there next season, but his scoring is every level. He hit 34+% of his off-the-dribble threes last year, in addition to getting to the basket. We know that he can make plays defensively off the ball. Very curious to see how he develops as a passer. A lot of reactive sort of dime so far. I want to see if he can slow things down and really be that offensive initiator. Zach LaVine at 4, giving him coming off, finished the year on another injury. I get why you would put him in front of Anthony Edwards, and I think I might too. Edwards definitely has the higher ceiling defensively. There's like really very few, and definitely at this position, players who are as good at knocking down jumpers off the dribble in addition to hitting catch and shoot threes. Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant trade bait, as people have grown to call him. Yeah, he's here. I know people, the word I keep seeing thrown around has become a buzzword with his offense is robotic. I get it. But like, there's more passing there at this point than we're giving him credit for. Even if you don't like the turnovers because of the loose handles or even some of the bad passes he threw, fine. He's made a jump on offense, and he can dribble into some mid-rangers, and he can back guys down and hit some fadeaways. There's a lot more to him on offense, and I think, he is one of the best defenders we've seen on this list so far, too. 3 is fine. Donovan Mitchell at 2. Would I have Jalen Brunson in front of Donovan Mitchell? Not Jalen Brunson. Would I have Jaylen Brown in front of Donovan Mitchell? I might. I wouldn't have a CJ McCollum. It wouldn't surprise me if Anthony Edwards is in front of Donovan Mitchell. I need to see another playmaking leap from Donovan Mitchell, and I need to see him get better defensively, or at least rewind the clock back 2 seasons when he wasn't this bad. But there's no denying he's a great offensive player, can create things out of nothing when he gets into the lane, defenses react, and he can play off others, which is why if you get him traded to the Knicks, the partnership with Brunson on offense should be able to work. Number 1, Devin Booker. Yes, this is the correct answer. Devin Booker, one of the best pure scorers in the NBA, can very much score at every level, but he's just dangerous and lethal from the mid-range and the outside. He can run situational pick and rolls, has done a really good job, not just improving as a passer, but the passes he throws are meaningful. Guys are taking shots off of them and hitting them. That's the mark of a sort of an appreciable bump in his playmaking. And finally, what we don't talk about enough, he has improved a lot defensively, especially when you go back and look at his on-ball defense last season. He's number 1 for me. My spiciest takeaway from here is that at the end of the season, it wouldn't surprise me if Anthony Edwards is in the conversation for 1 or certainly number 2. What did you think of these rankings? My thoughts? Let me know in the comments. And please remember to hit that subscribe button, like, and comment on this video. Until next time, and as always, I leave you with the shout out to one, the only, the legendary Frank Ntilikina.